So over the course of the past 20 years, social media has developed as an entity. It has allowed us to see different facets of life and maybe caused some of us to discover some things about ourselves that we did not know before. And the people who are consistently engaging in social media are consistently more aware of some developments in their own life. But one of my favorite developments that people have started to discover is people's hear me outs. People's hear me outs are one of my favorite things to talk about because it's just such an interesting little deep dive into seeing what's going on inside their little brain. So today I have put together most of my hear me outs, and some of them will have explanation and some of them will not. Watching Ultron in the movies as a kid, I think did change something developmentally in my brain. Because what do you mean he has the attitude of Tony Stark and he is also a villain? What do you mean? Of course that's going to do something to my brain. Of course it is. All I'm saying is that a villain who has an attitude and is also still charismatic and has a really good voice actor, I am very much sold. My next one is Optimus Prime. I don't have as much explanation for this one. I hate to tell you. I think it's just that on the opposite end of being a villain and fighting for what you believe in, being a good guy and fighting for what you believe in is also very hot. The next one is also a Transformer and is in fact Evac from Transformers 3D. Transformers 3D, if you don't know, is a ride at Universal Studios Orlando and I believe some of the other parks. However, Evac is the vehicle that you ride in through the entire time, and he is trying to keep you safe the entire time. Again, I really don't have an explanation for this. Sorry. Bumblebee. I love a man with a good taste in music. Hound. I forgot this Transformer existed, but while I was looking for images of Bumblebee when I was writing this list, I found an edit of Hound and I was like, yeah, that one. Doc Ock, specifically from the Spider-Man ride. And I mean inside the ride, not the ride queue. If I remember right, the one in the ride queue is from the TV show from the 90s and like early 2000s. The one in the ride, I think, is an animated version of Alfred Molina's. And I do think Alfred Molina's also counts, like the human version, not just the animated version. But he is not listed on this list, so we're just gonna go with the one on the Spider-Man ride. Sinister, and I will not explain. I don't know how to say the name of it, but the Predator from Alien vs. Predator. But they have several versions of this because the Predator series has been going long enough. So there is a femme version, there is a mask version, there is the one from the newer series that is an actor who is 7'1". I do not need to explain. Next one that honestly I feel more ashamed of than I do of the Predator is Omni-Man. On old videos on Cringe Cult, because I haven't uploaded on there in forever, I do talk about how I think the Omni-Man is technically trying his best and is on the track to be a good dad, but just fails miserably because of his loyalism to his planet. Next one, Morph from X-Men. Specifically X-Men 97. He's cool in the original X-Men, but in X-Men 97, hello. In X-Men 97, he's funny, he's charismatic, he's cool, and he can change into like anything. And his chosen human form is really cool, but also he's just hot in his regular form, so like. Also, while we're on this tangent, in X-Men 97, they go into a bar and everybody else is wearing street clothes and Gambit and Morph are not. Jubilee is technically wearing her hero uniform, but like her hero uniform is streetwear, so I don't think that counts. But Morph is just straight up wearing like a bodysuit with a bodysuit over it and like tactical gear. So like, I don't know how that's not seen as weird. I think this is a collective one from when we were all kids. Man Ray from SpongeBob. No, I will not continue. The next one I have on this list is Hulk. Here's where I lose myself in this. I don't know. I don't know if I meant Hulk or if I meant Bruce Banner. I think I meant Hulk. I think I just meant Hulk generically. But I am going to level that out and say also Bruce Banner in any form, because Bruce Banner and Hulk. Here is where I get into my Mortal Kombat ones. Now there's a couple that I did not list because I did not think I would be able to defend them. But the first one that's on here is Sub-Zero. I don't even think that's really a hear me out. I think it's a hear me out because he's an asshole. But Sub-Zero. And subsequently, Noob Saibot, because it is the same person. The next one that is from MK as well is specifically from MK1, and not the first one, the reset, right? Reptile in his human form is very cool. I don't have any specific attachment to his reptilian form, but as a human, he's sick as shit. So like, and it's also not written on here, but Sector, hot. Moving game franchises, Master Chief. I don't think this is a hear me out, because I think I've been hearing this since I was 10 from the internet. Master Chief is hot, and there's no getting around that. He just is. Like, that's just a part of him. This one's the most embarrassing in my brain. Captain Gantu from Lilo and Stitch. Now, why that one specifically is embarrassing to me, I have no clue. I feel like a fair amount of these on this list could be considered more embarrassing than that. So I'm going to name a specific character, but there is something about this art style that is like every hero in this movie to me is a hear me out. Pitch Black specifically from Rise of the Guardians. However, Russian Santa, absolutely. Russian Santa just looks like he would give a really good hug. I don't know, there's something about Russian Santa specifically that I'm like, I love you. I feel like Pitch Black was definitely hear me out as a kid, but Russian Santa as an adult, I'm like, yeah, him, absolutely. Some of these I wrote and I don't think I thought about. This next one is the Monster House, which I think I probably saw on somebody else's hear me out list and went, oh yeah, and then wrote it and then didn't fully agree with it. I get it, but that's not one of my hear me outs. Again, one that I understand, but was not me, I'm certain of it, but is on this list, is Springtrap. I did not write that. I wrote it, definitely, but it wasn't like me writing it, you know? That doesn't make any sense. The next one is the Ghoul. The Ghoul was definitely me. Ever since I saw the Ghoul in Fallout, I was like, maybe it's just because he's an asshole. Maybe that's why. The last one. Oh no! The last one is Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. I can't defend it, and I won't try to. But holy shit, that's funny. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure I have plenty more hear me outs. However, I don't think I thought of any more, and I've had this list going for like a week. Oh my god, my head hurts. That's so fucking funny. And with that, now that you know far too much about me and I know nothing of you, I am going to go. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know what this was. Use your free will today. If you liked the video, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, you know. And with that, I hope that you stay cool and that you stay cringe, and I will see you later.